Thanks, Mandy. As she said, we're going to be talking about social media for small business today. Just out of curiosity, how many of you own a small business or you work for a small business? That's a lot of you. That's good. So during the presentation, I would just encourage all of you, don't be shy, take lots of pictures if you want. You can tweet with the hashtag NEPA BlogCon and get the conversation going online. So as a small business owner or employee, should I be using social media, right? That's the big question. Everybody uses it, everybody's following it, most people, maybe. So you really need to find out who your customers are and your potential future customers. And we'll talk a little bit later about how you can find that out. And so social media involves an investment. The investment will vary depending on what you want to do with social media. You'll need some type of mobile device and or computer because you want to share photos and create your content. You'll want to consider whether you want to hire a digital agency to handle your social media or whether you want your own employees to do it or yourself as a small business owner. And naturally, as a small business owner's time is precious, so you'll be calling the shots pretty much. So you want to make sure if you're going to do social media, you want to do it right, and you want to make sure you have the time to dedicate to it. Some social media software is not free, some is. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a premium account option, but that's something to consider, and also social media advertising, which we will talk more about later. How can I measure return on investment? Businesses always talk about return on investment in social media. If I use it, is it worth it? How can I measure it? Here's an example. Anybody who knows me knows that I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And the other day they had National Coffee Day. So what they did in order to get people involved with their mobile app was they had a digital coupon that you could redeem for a free iced coffee or hot coffee. So while small business owners may not necessarily have the funding for an app, the idea of having an exclusive deal, whether it's on Facebook or another social media platform, is a good idea because you can track that and have somebody come into your business and to be able to track the offer. The Grotto at the Zaloom House is a restaurant in Milford, Pennsylvania that I go walking every day in Milford, and this place, they have a sign right outside their restaurant, and it says, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. So they're telling you to follow them online. You know they're online when you walk past their store. And here they say, mention us on Facebook, and you'll get buy one, get one free appetizers when you mention this post. Other options are call tracking phone numbers for social media campaigns. You could specifically have a phone number dedicated to a social media campaign, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter. That is not free, however, so it would be an investment on your part. Also, there is Facebook conversion measurement, a feature that Facebook has that allows you to measure the behavior of your social media ads on Facebook. When somebody clicks through, you can see if they buy something or what they're going to do next. Google Analytics, I'm not going to talk much about that today, but just the other day they announced that they have a Google Analytics Academy, which is free online courses. I believe they start October 8th. So I would encourage everybody to do that. I know I'm going to sign up. So I'm excited about that. And then also if you run a deal before, say a year before, and you were not on social media and now you are on social media, you could compare. There's different factors involved, obviously, but you could compare before using social media and after and know that there was somewhat of an effect on your results. So as a small business owner, you face this decision, what platform should I use? There's so many, right? There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's LinkedIn, there's Google+, there's Pinterest, there's Foursquare, there's Instagram, Tumblr, WordPress for blogging, and others. YouTube, there's Instagram for photos and video, and Vine, which is known by Twitter. So how do you know what you should be using, right? So ask your customers. Send out a survey, whether it's online. When people come in your store, say, do you use social media? What platform are you on? And that kind of thing. Or if you do, like Alicia was saying before, if you have an email newsletter, you could send out a survey that way and get people involved that way. How many platforms should I be on? Obviously, it depends on how many employees you have, who will be handling the social media. And I always say less is best. My dad always says that, but I say too. So, as I said before, I sent out a survey, try to figure out where your customers are on social media and go from there. Facebook sometimes is the most obvious choice. They have more than 1 billion monthly active users. Google Plus has more than 300 million, Twitter more than 200 million, and LinkedIn more than 225 million registered users. And it's always best to focus on quality in terms of your posts, and quality is usually better than quantity. You want to make sure that your customers are really going to be engaged with your content, so you want to take the time to make it quality. These are some factors to consider if you're going to outsource your social media to a digital agency. One factor is budget. How much money do you have to hire an outside agency? If you're like me, I don't have much money, so it depends what your budget is. Secondly, trust. Do you trust the third party to come in and they'll basically be a partner with you and meet with you and figure out your best strategy and handle the content, but do you trust somebody to handle that content and actually post it for you if that's what you choose? Or another option is you could hire an agency in order to just be part of your social media strategy or part of your content. Do you have the time to dedicate, or do you need an outside company to come in? And expertise, do you have the expertise to create engaging content on social media? If you want to handle it yourself but you don't have expertise, these are some options if you want to become more educated in social media. Well, actually the first one should be NEPA BlogCon. But also, community colleges sometimes offer courses in social media marketing and other uses of social media, and also online course providers like Media Bistro. I'm a freelancer for them, and I compile an email newsletter every day about social media. So if you want, you could go to socialtimes.com, and there's a field on the right-hand side. And Monday to Friday, I compile links to lots of stories about social media that you might be interested in. And the Chamber of Commerce, I recently joined the Chamber of Commerce in Milford, Pennsylvania, and Pike County, as Donna knows back there. Donna's with the University of Scranton Economic Development. Nope.
Small Business Development.
Small Business Development, sorry. But the Chamber of Commerce could be a great source because sometimes they offer social media trainings. They have people come in and offer trainings also, usually at a typically low cost. These are some tools if you're going to handle it yourself. The first list here are social media management tools. Hootsuite, Cocoon, TweetDeck, and Sprout Social. Hootsuite is free for up to 5 social media accounts. They also have a pro version, which has more advanced analytics and has more allows more users. Also, Cocoon is a social media platform similar to Hootsuite. However, it only handles Facebook and Twitter right now, and as of right now, it's still free. I believe that's up to 5 profiles also. TweetDeck is just for Twitter, and I know a lot of people that like it. And Sprout Social, I just tried out last month, and I really like it, especially the analytics, but it's not free. I think it starts at like $39.99 a month. And they have awesome analytics and features, but depending on your budget, go back to that budget question. In terms of analytics, Facebook Insights, LinkedIn Insights, Twitter just released analytics, which is really interesting. I was just looking at that the other day for my own Twitter account, and it breaks down who all your followers are, what categories of news or whatever what they're interested in Google Analytics. So I mentioned that Academy before. Also, there's Google Alerts, Ice Rocket, and Social Mention, because it's important to monitor your social media, monitor the name of your brand, come up with terms to, and then you can decide how you want to respond to how people are commenting about your business. So these are just some characteristics of social media posts. Some of them you probably are familiar with them. You want to ask questions of your customers. This here is a post from the Lodge at Woodlock, which is in Hawley, Pennsylvania, not far from where I live. And they ask, if you could have one treatment at our incredible spa, what would it be? And there were lots of comments from that. So it's really great to get your customers involved. You want to have lots of personality. You don't want to be a stuffed corporate shirt talking. You want to be more about your company. You want to include posts that, some of them you do want to be about your company, but a lot of the time you want it to focus more on maybe interests of your customers. Be visual, use lots of photos and videos. Those are engage the most people, and include exclusive content on each platform. That way, people will come to your specific social media platform because they know they're going to find something specific there that they want on the others. So specifically for small businesses, you might want to consider sharing posts from other local businesses and nonprofit organizations. You might want to share posts from other local events, industry information from journals and associations that have to do with your company, and from back to the local Chamber of Commerce. I know in Pike County they share lots of event information and great quality business information. So that's always a good idea. Customer service, it's important to use social media for customer service. If people ask questions, you want to constantly be monitoring to see if what people are saying about your business, and if they're asking questions, you want to respond in a timely manner. If necessary, offer to take the conversation offline, and remember to keep a professional tone. So make sure you tell people about your social media pages. Whether it's a sign outside your business, or whether you put links on your website and blog, or you include links, say, on your Facebook page to your Twitter account or your Pinterest account, or whatever it may be, and add social media sharing buttons to your blog so your content spreads. Social media advertising. We're going to talk a little bit about this with Mario from the What the Fork food truck here in a few minutes. Native versus display advertising. I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but native advertising, for example, is advertising that streams in with other content. So here's an example of moo.com. They create business cards, and they like to show up in my Facebook feed because I write a lot about business and business cards, and I don't write about business cards, but business habits and social media. Display advertising is the more static banner ad you'll see like on the top of a website or down the side of a website. But social media tends to use this native advertising. There's some controversy in terms of mixing it all together, but there are always more suggested posts or sponsored posts or that kind of thing. Social media advertising can be effective because you can target potential customers that are outside of your own followers. So you could target them by region or by demographic or lots of other factors. And Facebook sponsored posts and display ads. Facebook also has ads down the side of pages. But the really great thing about this native advertising is you can share it with other people, so it will spread quickly. Twitter also has several options. They have promoted accounts, and that is when you put or when you go to a Twitter when you go to Twitter and there's a little box that says who to follow. You could pay to have your company name show up there, or to promote a tweet that you write, and then you want to promote it to a specific audience. And LinkedIn also has sponsored updates, which serve a similar purpose. Also, Instagram recently announced that they're just rolling out advertising, photos and video advertising, but I think right now it's with just a few select brands. I'm not sure how that's going to work with small businesses yet. Advertising on Foursquare is coming for local businesses, and promoted pins on Pinterest, which I'm not sure in terms of local businesses how that's going to work yet, but we shall see. So here today we have Chef Mario, can you say her last name? Bevilacqua. And he's going to talk with us a little bit in terms of his business. He's the co-owner of What's the Pork Truck. So you just want to start out, tell us a little bit about your business, your pork truck.
Sure. So we opened July 19th of last year, and pertaining to social media, I built that page probably starting 4 months before we opened, and kept it inactive until I had all the content that I wanted, enough things that, so when we released the page, there was content for the customer to look through. It wasn't just one post and no pictures, no nothing. So I wanted to make sure that we had enough content and a lot of different things going on before we launched it. And I remember the night that we did it, it was silly to me, it was like 11 o'clock at night to do it so late, but from the moment that we started, I shared it on every single one of my friends' page, one by one. So it just exploded. And I think with the first 8 hours, 9 hours, we had 500, 1,000 likes, and it's stayed pretty consistent with 1,000 likes a month since we've opened, on average. So that was, I don't know where I was going with that actually.
Well, we were talking about Facebook advertising a little bit. So when did you launch Facebook advertising, and how much do you spend? And just talk a little bit how you do that.
So.
Can you stand up, please?
Yeah.
He's requesting. There you go.
So
Video on your Facebook.
Yeah, that'd be great. Facebook advertising, we started probably about 7 months ago. We spend $2 a day. That's all I do. And instead of the promoted post, what you could usually do at the bottom of every page, I didn't find those successful for us. You don't get to see where the money is being spent, who gets to look at it. I didn't like that at all. So when you go into some of the advanced advertising options, we always promote the most recent post and spend $2 to $3 a day, which I find is worth it. That's the only place that we really advertise. As much as I hate to say it, I need Facebook. I depend on it because otherwise, how are you going to find the truck? I depend on it so much, and every time I think about it, it drives me crazy to think I should just build my own app for the community because I just depend on it so much with locations, menu, and content. So the promoted post for $2 to $3 a day, I found that it really does help us because Facebook realizes that we pay for it, so it does help the algorithm to get us into more people's news feeds. So I really find that works for us.
So how many employees do you have on your food truck?
9. We have 9 total.
9 employees.
9 total.
So does everybody handle social media, or how does that work?
No, there's probably 4. There's 4 of us. There's 4 of us that have access to the truck's Facebook page. There's moderators. There's a couple different tiers and levels. I do encourage the employees, though, to immediately respond to a message if it has something to do with whatever's going on. Where's the truck? We can't find it, something like that. I have noticed that within the last month, I turned off messaging. I wanted to see how it would affect us if how easy was it for them to message something to us on the Facebook page, and if it meant that much to them to instead send an email? How important is the message that they're sending, not just with the question, but of the content that they're sending? So, a lot of the questions are, where are you going to be today? Which they can certainly find out by looking on our wall. What's the menu? Are t-shirts for sale? So I put a halt on messaging for probably about a month now, and I haven't had anybody say anything that, why is the messaging button not there? And a lot of the traffic we've moved right to a lot of the different email addresses that we have, whether it's the catering, information, careers, something like that. So we get the most important message, responses, not just random things that are, they could have found themselves, I guess.
So when you say you shut down messaging, is that the private messages? You mean that's kind of like email?
Right. The private messaging on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I felt a lot of the questions that were being asked were already answered, either, if they looked.
Mm-hmm.
So the important things, if it was important about a catering job or something else, would they go to the next step, find the email address and send an email?
Right, right. So why did you decide to focus on Facebook? I know you told me that you focus on Facebook. I know you guys also have a Twitter account,
Yeah.
right? But it's mostly links from Facebook to Twitter? Or?
Right, we use Cocoon. Anybody familiar with Cocoon? I love Cocoon. I've tried Hootsuite, I've tried Sprint Social. I don't just like Cocoon because it was built locally. I think that the user interface is fantastic. I love the ability to, even though you can schedule posts on Facebook's website, you could do that on Cocoon as well. Also, a lot of different things with pictures. I can see the scheduled posts. I can see the analytics. I really like what Cocoon does for us.
So we were talking a little bit before about return on investment and that whole issue of, should I be on social media? And obviously it's working out well for you.
Yeah.
But how did you just naturally think that would be the way to go? Or like when other small business owners consider, should I be on social media? What do you say to them? Like, what advice would you give to them?
Well, I think it's different for every small business. When I was looking at all the other food trucks in New York, California, everywhere, that's the main, that's where you go, that's the go-to. It's not, a phone number to call, this store or an email address for that store. Like, it's social media for us because the menu always changes, the location always changes, and it's just what needs to happen, I guess. More Facebook attention than Twitter. Our community on Facebook is 16,301. Twitter's probably 2,500. And a lot of the people that like us on Facebook are also on Twitter. There's probably a very small amount of people that are just dedicated to Twitter that follow the truck. So anything that we post on Facebook, it really goes right to Twitter as well, unless it's over 140 characters, and you'll get the Facebook link to go back to the original post. But I really like putting all my attention on the Facebook page because of the wide array of content that we could use. There's just a lot more to offer, I think.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys considered using Foursquare at all, or any other social media?
We have Instagram, we have Pinterest. I forget what the website was, but I got it from the Small Business Development Center. That you could go on and see what, like the name, like we wanted one name across all platforms, WT Fork Truck, and you could go on. I forget what it was, and see if all those usernames are available. So we grabbed them all for every, there's 55. There's like 55 social media platforms. But like I said, we're mostly active on Facebook, a little bit on Twitter, a lot on Instagram. Instagram's really fun, to be able to be on the truck, and everybody could all my employees could take photos and send them to the truck phone, and then we'll do it from the truck phone right onto Instagram.
Great.
Yeah.
Now you guys recently bought another truck or a van or something?
We bought a van.
You bought a van?
Yeah, we bought a van.
And you were saying something about Facebook advertising and that, I know you had exchanged some emails. Was there something about Facebook advertising you offered with people whoever was going to advertise on your truck?
When we got the truck, it was pretty plain and bland, and there was nothing exciting about it. So when we decided to vinyl wrap it the green that it is, the back of the truck to vinyl wrap was going to cost us another $2,000 to be able to cover it. And the people that we bought it off of said that they thought about doing this, but they never got around to doing it, which was advertising on the back of the truck. So we chopped up, a couple different spaces and tried to figure out how we were going to sell it, what we were going to charge, how much, how long. And there's 13 spots on the back of the truck right now that either go for 6 months to a year that people buy advertising. There's a lot of different logistics that go into it that we're not going to sell. We're not going to put 2 different hairdressers on there or whatever. But in addition to buying that space on the back of the truck, we do a lot of Facebook marketing for them because of the large community that we have, and they would get their own day to have the truck at their location for their event or whatever it is. So then what we did with the van was pretty much the same concept, but it was one exclusive company that got the back of the van. I had the van in the parking lot, actually. I want to drive it everywhere because I love it so much. But that was another thing that we got to do because the truck is, we're all over the place, Wilkes-Barre to Carbondale. It sees a lot of people, like just not only serving, but where we travel. So for the, for the potential advertiser, they find that it's worth it, the amount of, like I said, people that it sees.
Yeah, the location is really important in your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mario? Go ahead.
I have a question about the your sponsored Facebook posts.
Yeah.
What criteria have you been using to target people? Is it strictly geographic, or what criteria?
It mostly is geographic because we have a lot of people, especially after we've been on Kelly and Michael, that over that 7 days span before and after we were on live with Kelly and Michael, we had 5,000 people, 5,000 more likes on Facebook, and a lot of them weren't locally. So the criteria is Dunmore, Scranton, it was a 15, 20-mile radius. We don't target it too much to, like if we're going to Scranton, just Scranton. We kind of keep it broad. The age group, and our biggest demographic is females. 61% are females, and they're between the age of 24 and 35. So a lot of the content that we put on there, we really tailor towards them. That, when you see it at the truck, it's not just on Facebook. You see it at the truck, the amount of women, young mothers that are there. I think that males, like the male customers that we have, know the quality of food that we have and what we go for, but the women really engage on Facebook, so we really push for that.
Have you been also able to monitor how the sponsored posts have led to new likes?
It's hard. It's hard. It really is difficult to do that because there's always, since we started, there was always some type of event going on that would spike our likes, or whatever it is. So there's never been a calm time throughout our business that we've been able to sit down and be like, okay, this is steady. The likes have spiked, and it goes everywhere. It's really hard to gauge where it comes from. What I definitely do notice is that text, the quality of content, and not only the quality but the disbursement of it. I really like to do links in the morning. People really like to. I feel like people like to read in the morning, so I try to put up quality links in the morning. Early afternoon, about 10 o'clock is when I shoot the menu out and the location for where we're going to be. 12 o'clock or 11:30, I do it again. Around 2 or 3 are some average just content. Yesterday I put up we incorporated $2 bills on the truck. I bought a bunch of $2 bills from the bank, and I really like when I go somewhere and I'll get $1 back or a $50 or $2 bill. I think it's really cool. So we started doing that, so I had to post up about that. And then we'll post our dinner, we'll post where we're gonna be for the next day around 5 or 6, and then some more photos or video content that night. So I know how our community responds to what type of content is going up at certain times. And that took a lot of time to figure out, you know? You had another part of that question.
Just if you're able to measure the likes, but that makes sense, because if you get new likes, you don't exactly know
Right.
why.
Yeah, it is, but I know that asking people to like is really easy. They just do it, you know? Especially when we do it for other people's pages, we get a lot of people that ask, hey, will you share this or will you do that? It's a lot of fun to, you know, someone will say, will you share my page? And I'll say, I guarantee you, in 24 hours, you will have another 300 likes. And it happens like clockwork all the time. And it's incredible to see how excited they are when it happens. And what am I doing for that? Like, it's not costing me anything. It's not costing you anything. I'm putting it out to my community, and if there's takers, then there are. And it's really cool to see. It is.
Do you have a question, Donna? And then we'll go over to you.
Actually, Mario, you answered it. I was curious about the Kathy Lee, or Michael and Kathy Lee, how that increased your likes.
That's a great question.
Michael and Kelly.
Kelly, did I say Kelly? You can tell my age,
Kathy Lee was
right?
about 15 years ago.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we noticed over that week, it was a little over 5,500. And what was really cool, I have the post, I took a picture of it because I couldn't believe the amount of activity that was going on just around one post. And this was right after it aired on a Friday morning. It aired on a Friday morning, and we already knew that we placed second because it was taped the day before. So I had a post that went up about, thank you for voting, all of that. And I took a screenshot of it because it just blew my mind that, so it was 8 hours, I wrote, it got 4,625 likes, 512 comments, 131 shares, and 57,184 people saw it in 8 hours. And that was like I couldn't believe it. And I remember texting Andrew Torbaugh of Cocoon, I was like, is this right? Like, could that be real? Like, was it that much? And next to you, I don't know if you could see it when you're on somebody else's page, but you could say it says how many people are interacting, how many people are engaging. And at that point, we had 14,000 likes and 13,000 were engaging. It was unbelievable. That was like a high. Like right now, 701, and I freak out if it's anything under 1,000 of people talking about this. I like to keep it at 1,000. Obviously that grows as we grow, but with 16,000 fans, I like to keep it a little over 1,000. This morning it was 700, and that put me in a whirlwind this morning.
Was that your post about not being a loser?
Yes.
I shared that.
Yeah. So that was like
a great post.
That was a really good, and that lasted because of that post. Like that lasted for weeks. It was still being shared and things like that, but it also just helped the traffic at our page and people really going through the content that we had. Yeah, that was.
Donna, do you know what the Twitter handle is where you work?
Oh, thanks a lot. I'm going to say Scranton SBDC. Is it
Okay.
that? Is that?
At
Scranton
Scranton SBDC?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of great resources. I'm just starting up a social media marketing and training company, and she's helped me a lot, and they're a great resource for information for startups and businesses. So I would encourage you all to follow them on Twitter and et cetera.
I could second that because we wouldn't have been open if it wasn't for the SBDC, actually, legitimately.
Sir?
Nice plug, guys. Hey, this question's for Tim, but I kind of want to apply it to the case study. I'm really interested in your opinion on Google Plus.
Yeah.
And because he's such a big Facebook guy, can you kind of put the two of those together?
Yeah, so Google Plus, basically, I would say, if you have the time to do it, because in terms of search engine optimization value, it's great. Within the last year, I've started using it a lot. And if you type in my name or keywords that have to do with me, you'll find me. And I have a search engine optimization issue because there is more than one Tim Sohn in the world, apparently. And one of them is a freelance writer also. So, but I would say that it's really important to be on, and also if you could be on YouTube, basically Google-owned properties, that's going to help you. You're going to show up higher most likely in terms of search ranking.
So is that a recommendation to him?
Oh, to you? Maybe he could try it out and see. I don't know if, maybe if you have
I'd
the
be willing,
time,
I
give
would
it a
certainly
shot.
be willing to try it out. I'd like to see how could it possibly help me more than the community that I have now? And I know that what the Fork consumes the first 3 pages of Google when you search for it, So there's, I don't know much about search engine optimization, but I know that if you type in, what the Fork, there's, on the 3rd page, there's a forklift company that comes up. Everything else is us.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have no idea how it works, but I would be interested in looking into Google Plus.
Yeah, definitely let me know
Try
if
it
you
out.
decide to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me, I think also it depends on the audience, the people that are engaged. I engage with a lot of people that are involved in technology and social media and educational technology, and a lot of people are trying out Google Plus, and more people are using it every day. So I think it depends too on your audience. So.
Any other questions?
When you said you had 4 employees that work on your social media, is that their sole job, or are they also cooks or drivers, or? I'm thinking what your quad ad looks like for the positions.
No, well, who actively looks at what the Fork's Facebook page? Anybody? I don't like people knowing that I write it, that I'm the one, behind the page. Like a lot of companies like that there's, that there's a person writing it. I don't want to be that person. I want you to look at the post and say, and not say, oh, Mario wrote something funny today. Like, I want the truck to have its own voice, to have its own character, and I don't like telling people that I control it, that I write that content. The employees really handle a lot of they would send me, like I said, the pictures or the videos that they're doing on the truck, or respond to messages, but or even write the menu in the morning. But the overall handling of the content and of the links and of the stuff is done by me. But like I said, people think that, some people think that it's very important that there's a person involved with their page that they could connect to, that it's not that puffy suit that you talked about. But I think that that's what I'm trying to achieve, so it's not Mario's truck, Mario's Facebook page. It's bigger than that, and I want it to be bigger than that,
Are there any of you that, at the end of your post, you'll put your name, or you try to make it more personalized, or no? No? Okay. I know there's some companies that do, but some don't. Any other questions? I'm interested in knowing from you guys, what are some of the challenges that you are facing as a small business owner or employee? Does anybody want to share anything new they're trying out, or any challenges they're facing, or things that are working? Yes. What's your name?
My name is Elizabeth, and I have a new blog. It's called Radiant Abandon. I do life coaching.
Okay.
And I just started I was first doing it under an old brand that I had in the springtime, and it was going really well. And I just switched over, I rebranded and started the new blog in August. And it just seems so slow getting the followers. Like, I don't have that awesome story like you of it just popping right up. But I think, that's a different thing. I mean, you're giving people food. That's pretty awesome with that. But it's just, how to grow organically more, I guess, to get more followers.
I mean, have you thought at all in terms of contacting any of your, the local newspaper or any sort of publication that would, or maybe a Biz101.com or maybe they want to write about your blog to get more people,
No, I
to get a
haven't
bigger
tried
audience?
anything like that.
You might want to try something like that, reaching out, building more
What kind of
relationships.
places would you recommend?
One place is Biz101.com. Also, I don't know, if you give me your email address afterwards, I could
I'll
send
give
you a list.
Yeah, I'll give you my card.
Great.
Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else?
One challenge I find when I put on my personal page, please like my fan page for my business, people click like on the post.
Yeah.
They don't go to
Yeah.
like the page. And, 9 times out of 10, I'm just like, oh, why did I waste my time?
Yeah.
But, same challenge, I think, getting people to find you and follow you or like you
Yeah.
is the biggest challenge.
I think also, well, going back a little bit to before, it's like building relations. Like if you build relationships with other bloggers, you know, if you come to events like this, you know, share your information with them. You can build relationships with them to help you, you know, maybe, you know, they'll help you spread your content, and that'll help build your following.
Like, if I follow more people, do they in turn tend
It's
to
up to
follow
them.
you? You know, I mean, like, is that a way of building?
That's a way. That's definitely a way. Some people will follow you back, some people won't. So it's not guaranteed, but
Oh,
it's
I see.
definitely a good idea to, you know, try it. Some people will. Anybody?
This is just an observation more than a question, but I'm a coach at Beachbody.com. It's P90X insanity, that kind of stuff. And most of the top coaches that are making big money in the business have done it almost exclusively through social media. And from all the webinars and trainings I've been to, all of them have done trial and error.
Yeah.
It's just like, and Chef Mario, I mean, it's trial and error, you know, just the things that you're doing that, you know, trying the Facebook ads. I just watched a webinar last night. A girl spent $300 a month on her sponsored posts, but she's bringing in 10 to 15 new people to build her team per month
Right.
from just that. So it's just learning and trying different things.
I shared a post on Twitter, I don't remember if it was last night or this morning, about there's a survey that says Facebook is the most challenging platform for small business owners to create content for. Is that what you guys find? And if so, why? Visual
You get
nature.
torn between bothering your friends with all of your ads, you know? So you set up a separate page, but to build a following now on, you try to keep your private page and your business page separate.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of feel like a nag, like they're probably unfriending me right now because I post my business things, you know?
Can I speak to that? The girl I just spoke about, just in my last statement, she said, and she kept saying this for the entire webinar, was add value, add value, add value, and then put something about your business
Right.
up. So it's like 80% adding value. She puts up recipes, tips, things like that, and then she'll put something about, you know, here I'm having an apprenticeship for my business. If you want to join as a coach with me,
Right.
but she'll put that up like, you know, once a week. She usually does it on the weekend, she said, because that's when most people respond. But during all Monday through Friday, she's putting up tips about how you can be more
I've
healthy.
experimented with, actually, your product is probably similar. It's, it works as health and wellness products.
Yeah.
And so I try to post more on motivation and being a leader, positive thinking, things like that, and then mix it in with a little plug for the products here or there. Yeah.
So as long as, I mean, if people are getting value out of it,
Right.
they don't mind the ad coming.
Before we go back to you, do either of you guys want to share any Twitter handles or anything for people to follow you? Facebook pages, anything?
It's my name, Judy Zavislak, which probably everybody will be like, huh? So Zavislak, Judy, J-U-D-Y, Judy Zavislak.
Okay. You want-
Easiest to remember would be EileenGilly.com. It's HEALEY.com.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to build on what you were saying about on Facebook, like my problem that I expressed a minute ago is that I'm still growing a following. I mean, I'm really new. I've only been with this new brand about a month. But with the followers that I do have, I have a really high interaction rate. And I think because on my business Facebook page, I'm not just repeating content that's on the blog or, you know, posting so much about the business, but as you were saying, for example, if I post a blog post in the morning, what I'm talking about on Facebook is asking people to interact about them, asking a question related to what I was talking about, or, you know, like you had said, I'm sharing a recipe that was great. For me, the Facebook page benefit is showing that I'm a real person that can help you as a real person rather than a business. So I think it's totally appropriate on there to share some of the more personal things. And like yesterday, I put a post that was just said, like this if you're happy that it's Friday. And I got like through the roof, like, you know, interaction rate with that, just silly things. and to a call to action in the post too, like, you know, like this or comment or ask a question, what do you think?
And I
Little
think
things
that's
like that
key, I
work
think you
well.
said that as well. Ask them a
Yeah.
question to encourage
Ask people
interaction.
questions and tell them to like whatever, or, you know, comment on, I know some companies put like this if you love whatever, or comment if you don't, or, you know, whatever.
Right.
Tell, you know, give them suggestions how they can engage. I think we need to wrap up soon, but yes.
I actually have a couple suggestions for you ladies. I have a book blog, so I'm not a business, but
What's
I
the name
do.
of your blog?
It's Literal Hotties. It's a romance book blog. It's okay. But I do book blog tours where books will come and, you know, authors will promote their books. But there's something else that you guys could do. It's blog hops. I've found blog hops to be huge to bring in people. There's different ones, especially around the holidays. If you just search for a blog hop, there are a lot of health and wellness ones. Sometimes there's a large overall prize, and the hop will happen for like 4 to 7 days, something in there. Sometimes it'll only be over a weekend, and people will come in and they'll comment on your page. You will get more commenters and followers if you're giving away a small prize yourself. And it doesn't have to be something huge. It could be as simple as, you know, I'll give away a book or a $10 Amazon gift card. And I've found I've gotten a lot of followers that way, and it's just so easy. And they do a lot of the promotion for you, whoever's sponsoring the hop overall. Thank you.
Great, thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
I agree with that a lot. I should have mentioned that, how easy it is for them to do the work for a $25 gift card, gift certificate, a t-shirt, that, you know, if we hit this many likes today, if we hit this many shares, they will do the work, and it's so worth it to spend $25 for a potential 150, 200 likes. I really enjoy doing that. That works out pretty well for me.
What percentage of your time is spent doing all this social media? How many hours a day you put into it?
It's hard because I like I said, I do use Cocoon, so there's a lot of time that I spend instead of, you know, at each point of the day posting content that I schedule, you know, this, that, and the third, but I can't help but keep going. Like, I make it worse for myself, you know, because I'm always like, just right now, I'm like, oh, okay, well, who commented on what? What did they say? You know, like I just want to keep on going. But I'd say probably about 2 hours a day. Yeah. I'd say probably about 2 hours a day that I'm actually working on content on Facebook instead of just, you know.
Is there a way to schedule, like, I have more time in the morning, say. Is there a way to write my posts in the morning and have them scheduled to go out at a certain time?
Yeah, you can do that with Cocoon or Hootsuite or any of
Oh,
those.
really? Okay.
And some of them have options that will send the post out when it's the most, when people are looking at your their social platform the most, or when the most people are. So for Hootsuite, it's called auto schedule, and Sprout Social is something called viral posts.
Okay, that's good to know, because I tend to have more time either early morning or late at night when nobody else is on.
One more question? No, go ahead.
Oh, no, not a question. I should say, if you're just getting started with that, I find Buffer to be really easy with that because there's not a lot of options. So it's some of those, when I started, like TweetDeck, I like TweetDeck for seeing my tweets, but for scheduling, I found that to be really annoying. I think Buffer is really good if you're just getting started. There's not many options, just do it. And it's pretty easy.
Thanks.
So thank you all. This was a really great conversation. If you'd like to find me afterwards, I'd love to exchange business cards or continue the conversation during lunch or whatever. It's a really great event. I came last year too, but I was sitting out there. But it's great to meet all of you, and thank you.